Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into some core study principles from the author Cal Newport, and we're going to break down the small habits that really create those straight-A students.
You know, you might think it's some massive, revolutionary change, right? Some secret method that only the top performers know. But honestly, the answer is surprisingly small.
In fact, the difference between failure and incredible success, it might just be 2 millimeters.
Okay, so let's unpack this idea. This is actually what an instructor told the motivational speaker Tony Robbins when he was failing, and I mean miserably, at golf. Every single shot was landing 50 meters away in a lake. He was totally ready to quit.
But his instructor pointed out this fascinating detail, a tiny 2 millimeter shift in the club's angle right at the moment of impact. That was all it would take to redirect the ball from the water straight to the green. The result is massive, but the change itself, it's minuscule.
And Robbins learned this lesson all over again from a friend of his, who happened to be a world-class plastic surgeon. And get this, the surgeon explained that the key measurement separating what we see as an average face from a highly attractive one is often just a tiny 2 millimeter difference in the space between the nose and the upper lip. Wild, right?
Look, it's not about finding some magical all-in-one study method. It's about making small, powerful, and, frankly, often overlooked adjustments to your habits. So let's get right into the first one.
So this first small shift, it is all about clearing out the mental clutter so you can actually create focus.
This happens because of a really interesting psychological quirk called the Zeigarnik effect. Basically, our brains are hardwired to obsess over unfinished tasks. These open loops create this constant background noise that just shatters our ability to concentrate.
And the solution is this incredibly simple 5-minute routine. By just getting everything out of your head and onto a piece of paper, you're signaling to your brain, hey, these tasks are captured, there's a plan. This lets it finally relax and dedicate all of its energy to that single top priority you've set for the day.
Okay, let's move on to our next habit, because this is where it really builds. We need a battle plan to defeat what is probably a student's greatest enemy, that constant, nagging urge to delay and put things off. So, Cal Newport suggests this really powerful 4-pronged attack to conquer procrastination for good. And these aren't about brute force willpower, they're about using smart tactics to outwit your own brain.
Okay, tactic number 1, keep a journal. This is all about pre-commitment. When you actually write down, tomorrow at 9 a.m. I will start chapter 3, you're making a concrete appointment with your future self. This simple act just short-circuits that whole morning negotiation your brain loves to get into, which dramatically increases the odds that you'll just get it done.
Tactic number 2 is to feed the machine. I mean, think about it. Tackling a complex problem takes a huge amount of cognitive energy. When your physical fuel tank is running on empty, your willpower drops to basically zero. It's not that you're lazy, your brain is literally trying to conserve its last bit of energy for survival, not for calculus.
So to keep that energy high, the strategy is pretty simple. First, never skip meals. Your brain uses about 20% of your body's total calories. Next, stay hydrated, because even being a little bit dehydrated can mess with your thinking. And finally, be strategic with your fuel. Go for complex carbs that give you a slow, steady release of energy, not sugary stuff that leads to that awful productivity-killing crash.
All right, what about those tasks you absolutely dread, the ones you'd do anything to avoid? The third tactic is to turn it into a special event. Don't even try to tackle it in your usual distracting space. Go somewhere new, a library across town, a quiet cafe you've never been to. The novelty of the location creates this powerful psychological shift. It's like you've made a pilgrimage for this one task, so you might as well get started.
And finally, the fourth tactic is all about flipping the script on stress. Instead of letting some overwhelming day just sneak up and ambush you, you schedule it yourself. You proactively decide that Saturday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. is an intense, no distractions workday. By choosing your hard days, you go from being a victim of your schedule to being its commander. And that gives you an incredible sense of control.
The final habit, this is the one that brings it all together. It's about optimizing your study environment for deep, focused work. And it comes down to answering 3 simple but absolutely critical questions. So what's the ideal setup? Let's break it down. First, when should you study? Well, the best times are usually in the morning or right before dinner, when your mind is at its sharpest. Second, where should you be? Find a place of total isolation, a quiet corner of the library, an empty classroom, anywhere you won't be disturbed. And finally, how long should you work? You want to aim for focused blocks, about 60 to 90 minutes, followed by a real 15-minute break to let your brain completely recharge.
So let's tie this all back together. Let's see how these habits truly are that crucial 2mm difference we talked about at the very beginning.
See, you don't need to completely revolutionize your life. You just need to consistently apply these 3 simple habits: a 5-minute plan to clear your mind, that 4-part strategy to beat procrastination, and a defined ritual for deep work.
And this is the core idea of our whole explainer today. Monumental success in your studies, it's not built on one giant leap. It's built on a series of small, intelligent, and repeatable adjustments, your own 2mm shifts.
And you know, the best part is, you don't have to wait to make a change. You can start with just one of these small shifts today. Plan your day for tomorrow, find a new study spot, or hey, even just drink a glass of water. That right there, that's your first 2mm adjustment. Thanks for watching.